We're going to go ahead and get started with our first application, which is the Educational Application Award for Technology Resources in Internet Literacy, otherwise known as TRAIL and Link Americas. I'd like to introduce Brenda Kempster, who is the CEO of Link Americas and is an advocate of digital literacy, has participated on many national and international committees related to information and communications technology policy and digital literacy framework development. She is founder of the Kempster Group, which is a consulting firm specializing in building strategic alliances for clients focused on information and communications technology digital literacy. Also, Stephanie Margosian serves as the Chief Operating Officer at TRAIL. Margosian directs content development for TRAIL products and manages operations. Prior to TRAIL, Margosian was an education advocate in Sacramento, specializing in early child development, and she's also a corporate and tax attorney. Oh, you want me to talk to you afterwards.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for having us today. As was mentioned, the JobScout project that we're going to introduce you to today is a joint project and was a partnership of Link Americas Foundation and the iCALIFORNIA project to begin with, and a really cool group of entrepreneurs in the Silicon Valley, of which Christina was one. And we're hoping that our video will work so we can also show you Christina Gagne, who's the partners with Stephanie in the TRAIL side of the house. iCALIFORNIA is actually a digital literacy initiative of the state of California, which was signed into by an executive order during Governor Schwarzenegger's time, and then re-signed by Governor Brown, because both felt that digital literacy was so important. And what we've been doing with the applications development is kind of the third phase of the iCALIFORNIA project. It came in three waves. The first one being the policy initiative, the executive order, and then a framework that kick-started an action plan for the state with a whole bunch of goals that leading towards a digital literacy citizenship. And some of you in this organization were actually involved in the action plan. I know Stephanie Couch is here today. She actually headed up the advisory committee on the second phase, which was putting the action plan into work. That action plan then designated Link Americas Foundation to sort of navigate the waters, if you will, to get applications going. So that's kind of, the framework of it. And so we worked at our foundation with the California State Library to come up with, the first cool application, so to speak, in terms of how we operationalize the digital literacy framework. And I'll show you that a little bit further down in the presentation. So that's how it started as a project. It got bigger than a breadbasket for our small foundation. And so about almost 2 years ago now, we spun off TRAIL as a startup corporation. And some of the comments that were mentioned at the beginning of Senec's life and so forth, we're going through those growing pains right now. But we're really optimistic. We've got lots of other scouts on our drawing board and so forth. But today we'll focus on our baby, if you will, which is JobScout. And with that, I'll turn it over to Steph.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having us. I'm just going to try and project here. I know we're webcasting, but this is a little awkward. So thank you all for having us today and for recognizing JobScout today. I am Stephanie Margosian. I'm the COO of TRAIL, and I'm going to give you a little introduction to what we do. So as Brenda said, we did have a nice little video with Christina on it planned, but the audio isn't working, so we're just going to kind of skip over that. So let's talk about the issue. Why did we develop JobScout in the first place? And I think I'm preaching to the choir here, but we developed JobScout because there are millions of people nationwide and millions of people around the world who don't know how to use the internet. And those of us who use the internet daily know what an essential tool it is. I believe the numbers here, 60 million people in the United States don't know how to use the internet, and the number surpasses 5 billion people worldwide. That's an enormous amount of people who don't have access to the information that we take for granted daily. So a little bit more about the numbers. JobScout is a digital literacy tool that teaches people how to use the internet specifically to find work. And we found that JobScout serves 3 target markets or groups. Baby boomers, people looking to re-enter the job force or maybe reinvent their careers in a new way, who have not had to utilize the internet in a rich way or utilize the internet at all previously. Latinos are also a large number of the target market that we serve, and millennials, surprisingly, while they are considered digital natives, and maybe they can play Angry Birds and use Facebook, sometimes they lack the digital literacy skills that they need to do comprehensive internet research or to use the internet in a rich way in order to really serve themselves and enrich their lives. And they were also lacking career skills, so they see JobScout as a way to reinforce those career skills or get the career knowledge that they might not be getting offline. So why is digital literacy important? And again, I think I'm preaching to the choir here, but digital literacy, it affects every instance of our lives, and it's starting to affect the entire job market. Digital literacy we see sprouting up into areas of the job market and industries that we never saw before. Hospitality, retail. I mean, you can't go to Nordstrom's and buy something without seeing the cashier on her iPad trying to check you out, or hop into a cab without the cabbie using Square in order to allow you to pay your bill with a credit card. Dry cleaning, we work with a company in San Francisco called Laundry Locker. We've been partnering with them, and their entire dry cleaning service is operated digitally. Their employees need to know how to use mobile devices such as iPads to do their deliveries, and also just to operate the machinery in their business. And medical, automotive, and we can go on and on and on. JobScout is an amazing tool for career pathways, and we've been working with schools across California to introduce JobScout into their buildings and into their programs as part of the Career Pathways grant. So what was our solution to the digital literacy problem? Well, our solution was JobScout, an online application. So we like to say it was either the best idea or the worst idea we ever had to teach digital literacy tools using an online self-led application. This was either going to be fantastic or it was going to crash and burn. Well, so far it's been fantastic. So what is JobScout? So JobScout utilizes online lessons that teach people everything from browsers to email to how to use monster.com, and we also teach people how to use micro-entrepreneurial sites. We teach all of the essential skills you need to find work online, and then we pair that up with tools that the job seeker needs to make their job search easier. So what we've intended to become is a one-stop for the job seeker online. So with that, I'm going to escape out, or I'm going to come out of the presentation, and we'll see if we can do a little demo here, if I can bring up Chrome. Unfortunately, I have to navigate this way. Uh-oh, there we go. All right, this is a little awkward, but maybe you can see JobScout. I'll give you a little taste of the dashboard. So you can just
Stephanie's pulling that up.
get some context.
I just wanted to add that the platforms that we developed JobScout in are both mobile and web-based as well. So it's available. All the lessons and so forth are in both English and Spanish. And it was challenging because we were working with the libraries on the original grant, and we had library branches throughout the state that went, some of them still in dial-up, as you guys know, all the way up to broadband services, and they wanted it seamless, and they wanted the look and the application to be the same wherever public library the user was going into. So that was kind of one of the challenges that your team faced, wasn't it, Steph?
Absolutely. Alrighty, so, well, no, that's not what we want right now. Sorry about that. I can't see on my laptop. And
It's on the very first one.
yeah. I'm sorry, I'm trying to navigate back and I cannot see on my laptop what's going on here. So as Brenda was saying, we did face a lot of challenges with JobScout. One of the challenges was the infrastructure that we had to build for and to accommodate for the library systems, because not all of the libraries were on a broadband system. Some of them were on dial-up. And I'm going to unfortunately have to unplug for a second so that I can get back to where I need to be. Sometimes technology can be our best friend, and sometimes it can be the bane of our existence, as we discovered here. So we're just going to go back to the presentation because that's a little bit smoother. Our lessons are mapped to the California Basic Digital Literacy Framework, and so we do have a very comprehensive framework for our lessons. We teach a variety of skills: communication, privacy, and security. We also teach, like I said, micro-entrepreneurialism. We're trying to introduce to our users new ways for them to participate in the economy. We also have a data analytics system that we've built into JobScout. And so what we're trying to do is measure how our users are learning on the platform. And this is innovative in and of itself because we're trying to measure the behavior of a new market. We're measuring the behavior of people online who have never been online before and seeing how they use the internet and seeing how they use our platform. So again, the importance of data. Data can help our users and the organizations that use JobScout in a number of different ways. It can help them be more effective and efficient in helping their clientele. It also helps us measure and see how our users are learning on the platform, and it can help tailor their experience. So our success to date, Trail has been the recipient of the Scenic Award today, which is fantastic. We're rolling out next to Macon, Philadelphia, hopefully Pittsburgh, and Kansas City, so we're excited about that. And we've been recognized by the California Department of Technology also in our efforts. Another thing to mention about JobScout is that we're also available on mobile and we're available in Spanish. So our users get the same experience that they do, standing in line, riding the bus, as they would if they were just on the regular web platform. It's also free to the users so that they can access this 24/7 online. We do make it a mission of ours to make sure that the tool reaches the end user as much as possible. And with that, that was really a little brief introduction of JobScout. Unfortunately, we couldn't do some of the online stuff that we were hoping to do, like the demo. But if there are any questions or anything, we're here to answer them.
So you're connected with the public libraries?
We are. We're partnered with the California Public Library System.
Okay. So if you had community college students or any students, for example, would they need to get access through the public library, or could it be something that the college could offer locally?
JobScout is something. Oh, the question is, since we are partnered with the California Library System, whether or not community colleges or other institutions would be able to access the tool locally for their students or users. And the answer is yes. So JobScout is publicly available. It's available online 24/7. People can access accounts. And we do also offer subscriptions to Compass for those organizations, which is our data analytics system for those organizations that are interested in having that data.
Can I add to that? JobScout's available as a download app in the Apple iTunes Store, and it's also available in Android in the Google Play Store. So you can just go to JobScout on your mobile phone and download the app. So our goal is to get as many users using it in a mobile environment, actually, because we don't want to bottleneck the libraries. And this was part of the strategy as we developed the application to begin with, was to use the library and the librarians, which have all been trained in JobScout through the webinars and so forth we provide, to get them, the users online and introduced, but then to give them the confidence after a lesson or two to download it to their mobile phone and then go from there. So the same thing with, you know, your question on the junior, the community colleges or the post-secondary institutions. They could all download it on there. What we can then provide is a backup system, and this is what Stephanie alluded to on the Career Pathways grant. We're working with some of the schools there so that if they have users in a region or a geography or a school or an institution, we can then provide them the data on how their students are doing, how they're progressing. We can give them profiles on which lessons they're learning. They get a badge for every lesson, and so we have badge drawers, and they can trade badges and look at each other's badges and so forth. And we can do all of that back of the curtain technology, data analytics and tracking for them. But for the individual user, sure, the more the merrier. They can use it now.
Have you had any K-12 districts adopt this as their curriculum for digital literacy? I mean, again, with E-rate dollars, we have to have a program in place for digital literacy and show that students have done this. Have you worked with direct K-12 districts to accomplish that using your curriculum?
So the question is whether or not we are currently working with direct K-12 systems with our curriculum. We are talking to several K-12 systems right now. They are in the middle of their Career Pathways grant application, so we've been talking about partnering with them and with the charter schools. So we're starting to begin those relationships.
And all of the lessons that have been developed, which are 39 that have the badges now, every lesson in the badge draw is mapped to the California framework for basic digital literacy skills that I mentioned was in the action plan. So we're hoping that with the Career Pathways, we'll be able to sort of patch a statewide effort together where we can get some real good data and information on you know, how those users, say, in the K-12 environment are starting to move through that framework. So, yeah, we can do that.
So how long have students or your customers been able to access this? And how many, I guess, how many people have you served already with this tool? And then the last question would be, what's your percentage of people that started that actually complete all the lessons?
So there are several questions there. So I'm going to correct me if I don't get them all in here. So the first question was, how long have we basically been available to users? The second question was, how many users, you know, are accessing the platform right now? And finally, what percentage of users are completing the entire battery of lessons? So the first question, we started a beta in 2011, and then we rolled out statewide beginning of last year. So we've been available for a couple of years now. We are serving tens of thousands of users now. I believe it's about 20,000 users right now. And in terms of the users who are completing the full battery of lessons, you know, we have about 20% that are completing everything, but we have a lot of users who are staying on for significant periods of time using the tools and then picking and choosing the lessons that they feel are most applicable to them. 39 lessons is a lot of lessons for people to get through, and they're timed to be about between 5 and 20 minutes a piece, so they're easy to kind of consume, but still a lot of content. So we see a lot of users kind of jumping around and picking and choosing.
So with all the users that you've got using your system now, how are you providing, or are you providing user support, questions, logins, how do I navigate, or what are your clients doing?
So the question is, are we providing user support or customer support? We do provide user support and customer support. We have dedicated customer support, a team, so that you can connect with a live person. So we have a help button on the site, so you can report a problem if you need to. And we also have dedicated live support. We have a 1-800 number. But beyond that, we do partner with our clients, so the libraries, social service agencies, CBOs that we work with, and we run on a train-the-trainer model. So what we do is we provide a lot of support to those organizations. We do webinars, we do online trainings, in-person trainings to make sure that the people leading those organizations and working with the clients or the patrons are well versed in JobScout, so that they can be our partners on the ground, helping the JobScout user get started, since these are folks who are just getting started using the internet themselves.
One of the things about collecting the data as well on who is using it, when we started, it was with the public library system, so there was an issue with the California public library system in terms of capturing data on individual users for all of the privacy issues and so forth. And so while we had a lot of users in that environment, we didn't track data to the small amount of the minuscule, the individual user, like we can now with the Compass system that's been developed, that Stephanie mentioned. We have the capability of customizing the data collection process. So now if we're working, say, with some of the school districts or workforce development centers or so forth, if they have requirements in projects or programs where they have to collect data on their clientele, we can customize the Compass system so that we can actually track that and give them report backs out of it, which is really exciting for us to be able to do that, because that was something, just because of public access to the libraries, we weren't able to do in a sort of an anonymous user environment there.
I think we have time for maybe one more question before we start to kind of run into other people's presentations. So
I just wanted to ask about the use of analytics, or is that something that you developed custom for the application, and does it track across the different access points, like the mobile devices and the web-based version?
So the question was about our data analytics and whether or not we built a custom system for JobScout and whether it tracks across all of the different platforms, such as mobile, that we've developed. The answer is yes. Compass was custom built for JobScout, so it is a custom system. And as Brenda mentioned, we're continuing to customize it, both generally and for different organizations that need, different data sets. And in terms of tracking across all of the platforms, it does. So it tracks across mobile, it tracks the web platform, and we also geofence it for the different organizations that are using it, so they get data specific to their organization, and they're not getting, large chunks or lumps of data, worldwide or nationwide or even statewide. So we try and make the data as useful for the people using Compass as possible. And I think that might be it for our time. Thank you very much for your attention.